Hi and welcome to Freedom is the Solution channel. So this is video 2 out of 100 for my promise for me to become a better communicator with the channel. So my goal is to do 100 videos in 100 days, one a day, and I'm hoping that the more I speak to the camera, the more comfortable I will become. So today I want to talk about what is the most common question I get or rebuttal I get to when I say we should have one law, and that law is no one can force anyone to do anything. I need to open this because it's too hot. Okay, so, and the biggest rebuttal I get, the biggest thing I say, people say to me, and this is mainly on social media, is how will it work with the NHS, how will it work with education, and how will it work with the pension schemes and everything. And to be fair, I think I've come to the conclusion that I will need to better communicate my ideas of what freedom looks like, of what the world will look like once we are completely free and we are responsible for our own lives. Once we know that there's no government there to force us to do anything. And so let me start with education. So we all know that capitalism is the voluntary exchange of goods and services between two people. And the goal of capitalism is to reduce prices to next to zero, and also to reduce prices to next to zero and improve the quality of the products and services. So if that's what capitalism is, that means that if we all of a sudden were to become free and no one was forcing us to do anything, then that means that it wouldn't be government's job to educate us, which means the people themselves would see a gap in the market and create schools that would be dedicated to the different interests of the child. So some children are more prone for they're more artistic. Others are more, they're more scientific. They want to do more stuff to do with sciences. Others want to do more with maths. Others want to do acting. So each child has his own strength, and each parent would, in fact, put their child in the school that is most effective for them. So there would be a massive amount of new schools, private schools popping out of nowhere, and these schools would compete for the services, compete for the custom of the customers. So if a school wants to be successful, the only way in a free market capitalistic society without government intervention, the only way a business can be successful is by providing a good service at a reasonable price. Simple as that. And most people think, oh, government has to force us to educate our children. Wait a second. Any parent with any common sense, all they want is what's best for their child. Simple as that. Okay? So when people say, oh, but parents won't educate their children, parents will educate their children. Okay? And then the main rebuttal is, what happens if parents don't put their children in school? Unfortunately, we live in a world that this happens right now. The schools are so bad that by actually putting kids in those schools is actually worse for them. There are certain schools that are terrible with government. There's no safety, there's no education, there's nothing going on there. And just putting kids there for the sake of it, I'd rather not have my kid in the school. But it's the freedom of the parent. You need to give the responsibility to the parent for whether they want to put their kids in school or not. Parents should not be forced to do anything, and unfortunately it's the same thing with schools. Okay, so that's one of the biggest rebuttals I would get is, what would happen to the education system? Well, I can tell you something. It would become a lot cheaper a lot cheaper, and the equality would increase dramatically, because there would be competition in the education system. University degrees would collapse straight away, because the prices of a good university degree would come right down, because again, these universities would have to compete for for customers, and at the moment they don't compete, because they know that each student is going to get some kind of student loan, and that's why the prices keep going up. If you notice one thing, is anything government is involved with, the prices go up and the quality goes down. And anything capitalism is involved in without government intervention, that's one key thing we need to remember. Capitalism without government intervention is the solution to all our problems, because it will improve quality and reduce prices. If government is involved, then the opposite will happen. Okay, and we know that, because anytime a government is involved with anything, the prices go up and the quality goes down. We know that firsthand. So that is one of the rebuttals I would get. My answer to that question of what will happen to education: free market capitalism will happen to education. The prices will go down and the quality will go up, and we will get much better education for a lot less. And at the moment, in the system we live now, the rich people send their kids to private schools so they get better education, and the poor, the rest of all of us, they go to a public school, which is anyone with any two eyes can see is completely terrible. So hope you enjoyed this video. So this is video 2 out of 100. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about the what will happen to healthcare. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up.